Progressive Insurance. You can be a part of Unsportsmanlike Nation on the Dr. Pepper call-in line at 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation is presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. All right, a lot of people going into the season, rightfully so, understandably so, thought the Lions could make a Super Bowl run this year. They're 8-6 now on the outside looking in after their 41-34 loss to the Rams yesterday. Matthew Stafford, 24-38, 368, 2 touchdowns and a pick. The running game is unbelievable right now for the Rams. With Kyren Williams, Blake Corum from Michigan, they have been tremendous. Unfortunately, Devontae Adams does get banged up for them. Status TBD. Puka, he's insane. Like the catches he makes, 9 for 181. And I thought Jared Goff was particularly good early on in this game, but the Lions could not figure out a way of winning this game. Are they done, guys? Are the Lions done?
Yeah, the Lions are done. It's a wrap. And you could hear it in Dan Campbell's voice post-game. He was talking about the Rams being the top of the NFC and his team not being there right now. And that's okay to understand that, but you just got to realize that this is what we got to do in order to close the gap. There's plenty of work that needs to be done. And so I don't look at it as a situation where the Lions are going to be able to sneak into this thing. I look at this more of as a situation for the Lions to be able to build an identity around their new offensive play calling in Dan Campbell as they get ready for the 2026 season. So their playoffs should start now in terms of how they approach the remaining opponents. But, yeah, the season in terms of Detroit being able to get into the tournament, that is over with. That's done.
Well, you mentioned Dan Campbell. Let's hear from him post-game about his team losing yet again and now sitting there at 8-6.
Well, look, I don't even know what happened. I mean, I just found out after the game about Green Bay and all that. So, my message is don't go numb to when you get these losses, the win, lose. Like, we got to get out of that rut, and it can't be okay. We'll just, like, it should burn at you, It should eat you up. And do not go numb to the losing, all right? Staff and I, we're going to come in. We're going to watch this thing together tomorrow, all of us in all 3 phases. Watch everything top down, the players, ourselves, and make those corrections and then move on. And it's simple as going back to work, and we got to get better with Pittsburgh coming into town. We got to play better. And now we know, now you have firsthand knowledge of what probably the top of the NFC looks like right now. That's them, All
right, well, top of the NFC leads us right into that. Michelle, you love talking about the Rams. Are they the top of the NFC? Clear-cut favorites, Stafford MVP, like all in. Every number 1 seed, Stafford favorites. Are they now that team with that big 3 of number 1 seed, favorite, and Stafford MVP?
Absolutely. We've been saying it for weeks now that they feel like the most complete team in football. And when you look at the rest of the playoff picture, let's just go through it one by one. Green Bay, huge blow yesterday, losing Micah. Christian Watson. They also had other injuries they sustained yesterday. Jordan Love already had a small margin for error. He now has to be that guy. So you don't feel as great about Green Bay. Chicago, while they feel like a team that certainly is competitive, is it a year too early with Caleb and this regime? San Francisco, CC, do you believe in them?
No.
I know, Evan, you do more than the others, but CC and I do not believe in San Francisco. Philly gets back in the win column yesterday, but it's versus the Raiders. Still questions there. Tampa, don't really feel like they are as competitive as they were at the beginning of the season. I know you're high on Seattle, but there's questions there too. The Rams are the team in the field in the NFC that we feel the best about. They feel like the most complete team. I don't know if I'm LA, if there's any team in the NFC playoff picture right now that would scare me.
Yeah, I love the fact that the Rams are committed to running the football. They found something with 13 personnel, 1 running back, 3 tight ends. They ran the hell out of the ball yesterday, 29 times for over $150. They scored 5 touchdowns out of 13 personnel. So they're showing you that they're committed to running the football, and I would expect an even heavier dose now that we know that Devontae Adams is potentially dealing with a hamstring and might not be available for Thursday Night Football. So to me, the Rams' ability to be able to throw the score and run the win is what separates them from the rest of the conference. Being able to run the football allows you to dictate the complexion of games. And if you can play downhill on opponents and allow your defense to play with the lead, then all of a sudden you lean into the strength of the other side of the ball, which is that pass rush led by Kobe Turner and Jared Verse and Byron Young. So to me, what we saw yesterday was the Rams at their best complementary football, and I think that you end up getting the best version of Matt Stafford when your offense is predicated on leaning into the running game.
And all of that is done under center, is it not?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I understand I harp on this over and over again, but for those who haven't heard it, running the ball or running your offense with the quarterback under center, not out of shotgun, allows for play action, allows for the ball to be hidden at times, allows for guys on defense to not know where the ball is, and allows for the running game and the passing game to be opened up. Why so many teams fight this, I don't understand for the life of me. You have a quarterback in Stafford that could run any offense where as long as he's not running the football. And, of course, you know, right when I say that, we show the video of him in shotgun, which is my fault, not the TV department's fault. That's my fault because it was a great throw. But my point is you could run it any which way, and they're choosing to do, as CeCe said, to just put big bodies on the field, utilize those running backs in Williams and Corum, and they have the best wide receiving core arguably in the league. Why other teams don't do that, I have no understanding.
Do they have the best blocking wide receiver in the NFL?
In Puka?
Yeah.
Of note, Matt Collins is pretty damn good in New England, but yes, of note, like of the star wide receivers.
Puka is a dog.
He's
so
unbelievable.
He is a dog.
He's so good.
Okay, you just said something. Let's go to this for a second. When you have the non-obvious characteristics and traits, that probably makes you somewhat of a title team. When you're talking about your wide receivers blocking, when you're talking New England's case, obviously the quarterback blocking yesterday, I don't think they're a title team. I think Buffalo more so is. When you're talking about special teams, there are probably facts about your team when you won the Super Bowl in 11 that you could say we were really good at this. Where average everyday fan would be like, what? That's a thing? And you're like, no, that's why we were great. We have that kind of mentality. If you're sitting here pointing out the LA Rams are the team to beat in the NFC because when they put 3 tight ends on the field, they use a backup running back and their wide receivers are good at blocking, that's a championship team.
But here's the thing. You got wide receivers that are good at blocking. You got tight ends that are good at being receivers downfield. So that allows your 13 personnel to play big. And if you want to put big people on the field, then they can exploit you when they're in that personnel grouping in the passing game. You can't be right. And so when we start talking about being able to identify what does it have? You start to talk about being able to identify
the championship characteristics,
certain inefficiencies in how teams try to defend you, certain issues that you. When you have the ability to play that way with big people on the field, which is throwing the ball down the field to your tight ends and allowing your wide receivers to be lead blockers in your run game, then all of a sudden you make opposing defenses wrong every single time. And that's what Sean McVay has been able to find with 13 personnel. He's been able to see ahead of the curve when it comes to NFL defenses that are built on being able to play the space game, being able to match up to 11 personnel in sub packages with nickel and dime. He's been able to find the weakness in that, the inefficiency in that, by bringing 13 personnel out there on the field. And they have been exploiting defenses. And what we saw yesterday was just another example of that. So I'm curious to see what team is going to be game to be able to slow this down, because until you stop it, they're just going to keep doing it.
And that's why I don't write off the Niners, even though you guys do, because you're the one. They're the one that understands how to play against this team better than anyone in my mind. That's just me. That's me.
No, you're not wrong. But again, Sean McVay being able to find that market inefficiency is huge. And we talk about his genius. Remember, when he got to L.A., he was the one at the forefront of the 11 personnel craze. Now he's doing something different.
Damian Woody, ESPN NFL analyst, will join us next. We're on Sportsman Like, presented by Progressive Insurance.